Reverend Peter Appiah Turkson, do you think you can be the Pope in this year, 2025, going forward?
Why not? Why not? The church has had a very, very successful way of making everybody a bishop of Rome.
Okay.
And that just means that, a pope is not just a pope of the universal church, but it's also the bishop of Rome.
Okay.
And that's why every cardinal is given a church in Rome. Every cardinal, by the fact that he's given a titular church in Rome, is co-opted and made part of the clergy of Rome.
Yeah.
And that just prepares him also to become the bishop of Rome.
Okay.
I think that is a challenge of the gospel, to be able to transcend some of the, some of the impositions of culture, history, ethnicity, and all of that on us. And part of it is, a black person in a position of leadership.
Mm-hmm.
We've had it before. We have Kofi Annan from Ghana being the Secretary General of the United Nations.
Yes.
He had problems, but he still did it.
Yeah.
And now it is, Obama of the United States. And if by divine providence, because the church belongs to God, if God would wish to see a black man also as a pope, thanks be to God.
Wow. So viewers, as you have heard Reverend Peter Appiah Turkson of Ghana speak his mind as to whether he can, he should, or he must be made the Pope. You've heard him speak. This he said not today, many years back. And so this man is Appiah, or he had the forecast for years, also for AJ. Yes. This man has been a man that has always known that he could be a potential Pope. And when we look at what is going on right now, how everybody is expecting this African Pope thing to happen, I think it is really time. Or why do you think it's not time? What makes somebody think it's not time for a person whom, when you check his profile, you'll be shocked when you check his profile, right? Like when you look at Peter Appiah Turkson's profile here right now, I'll read a fraction of it. This man was born on 11th October 1948. So he's actually about 76 years-ish, which was around 77. So around the same time when the other popes also became popes.
Yeah, Pope Francis, yeah.
Pope Francis also became a pope around the same age. Yeah. And look, let's look at, I want to show you something about this guy. I'll read it to you. Okay, let's read this portion of his profile. It says, he's a fully modern cardinal who for many years has been the darling of Western liberals, even the Western liberals, for many years, wanting to see a malleable African pope. Cardinal Appiah Turkson appreciates the influence of the Second Vatican Council in the Church and the world at large. He comes to the Vatican with some surprising and trepidation, but soon embraced the role and ended up overseeing one of the first major choral reforms under the Pope Francis. And so, also for AJ, you can easily see that this man has always been ready. He's always been ready. I don't know what you have to say about this issue concerning the Pope.
Look, you cannot say that you will come to my country.
Yeah.
Teach me how to eat your food.
Yeah.
Make the food for me.
Yeah.
And then if I want to learn how to make the food for myself, you say no.
That's true.
So we have embraced for the past 100 years. Go back to history. Like there have been a black pope. People don't know that.
Oh yes.
This is not new. But we are talking about modern Catholicism, modern Catholic Church, modern.
I think let us give the people the times when there were black popes.
Yeah, please.
I want us to go ahead.
Because think that there has not been a black pope before.
Okay, so look at this record. It says the church records tells us there were potential 3 black popes in Catholic history. Yeah. Okay, let's disclose our source so people will know that we are not just reading from anywhere. It says the 3 African popes. If you check the caption of it, you will know the timing and the author. The author was Ralph Moore, right? So all credit to Ralph Moore, which was written in January 5th, 2023. And so if you look at the picture here, it tells you that we are not talking about any other thing. And so when you read this section highlighted, it says the church records tells us there were potentially 3 black popes in Catholic history. Pope Victor the First, who headed the church from 189 to 199. Pope Miltiades. Pope Miltiades from 311 to 314. And Pope Gelasius the First, who was Pope from 492 to 496. So why not now? Tell me.
Moreover, the reign of the 3 African Pope is there.
Yeah.
See, look, history tells us. I don't want to go through people think that black people didn't exist on earth.
Oh, come on.
No, but sometimes when we are talking about positions or ideologies or especially with technologies and all that, the African had it first.
Oh,
you understand?
Yeah.
The Egyptians had it first.
Yeah.
Talk about mathematics. Talk about science. Talk about like
geometry.
Yeah, geometry.
Because when we talk of Egyptian pyramid,
it was our forefathers, which we don't talk about it, and I'm proud to say that our forefathers did it. If you go to the Ashanti Kingdom, I'm going back.
It's not back. That's forward.
The Ashanti Kingdom, we had even water closet toilet on the top level. Yeah, we were not living in sheds and all that. They have changed the history, but we want to bring it back. Yeah. So coming back to why it is time for an African Pope is this.
Yeah. Tell me.
The church, the Catholic Church, the growth of the Catholic Church is in Africa.
Yeah, that's true.
The heartbeat, the blood. If the Catholic Church don't vote well, because this one is vote.
Oh yes.
Even though if it's divine, people have to vote. So which means that there are human beings involved. But we are telling the Catholic Church we believe in the Pope as an influential in divinity of God. The Catholic Church has done amazing work in terms of building schools, hospitals, being part of the society fabrics, of even providing aid to people in so many countries. When the Pope Francis went to Africa, 1.something million people showed up. When he went to Philippines, it was in the 600 and whatever. But we exceeded the number. Yeah. When you go to Rome now, I was watching videos. The popes that are in Rome, the priests and the pastors that are in Rome, most of them are from Africa.
Okay.
Heading the churches. Even the Roman church here in Parramatta was a Ghanaian young man that came. Yeah. And then I think he went back to Ghana. Yeah. So what am I saying? In terms of leadership in the world, Africans are also part of the human race. Okay. In today's society, in the 100 years. That's true. We are not asking for something that does not belong to us. We are asking for something that if everybody is contesting it, then we should be considered. Okay. Like the World Cup. They were denying Africa for the World Cup for so long, and they have to wake up and say, look, these guys are bringing the skills and the talent, and France could not win the World Cup without the Africans. So why can't we have the World Cup in Africa? Oh, safety and all that. Look, they did it in South Africa. Did anybody die? No. It was beautiful.
Oh, it was great.
It was great. It was 2010 World Cup was one of the best. The energy, the sound, the blowing of trumpet in the stadium.
They called it the vuvuzela.
The vuvuzela. I was at the airport of South Africa. They wanted to sell me one for, I think, $50. I said, I'm one of you. You can sell it to the Igbo people for $50.
No, not me. Definitely.
Not me. No. You know, so we are part of the race, and look at the United States of America. When they realized that the fabrics of America and Black African Americans has been there for years, they voted for Obama.
Let me shock viewers with this data here.
Okay.
You said the growth or the heartbeat of development of the Catholic Church is in Ghana.
Yes.
It's in Africa.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I want us to have a look at this particular this information here. And you will be shocked.
I know these things because I've traveled to Italy and I've been to Rome and I've seen what is going on.
Look at the graph here and look at the document I'm going to read here.
Yeah, read it.
Says the Catholic Church is experiencing significant fast growth in Africa compared to Western nations.
Yes.
Africa, home to 20% of the world's Catholics, saw a 3.31% increase in the Catholics population in the year 2022 to 2023. In contrast, Western nations, including Europe and North America, have seen a decline in mass attendance and a decrease in the percentages of adults identifying as Catholics.
Let me add it to the insult. When I was in Brescia, in Italy, you know, I went to Capanidolo. The church was empty.
Okay.
In Brescia. This is the
heartbeat of the Catholic Church.
Yeah. And I asked the old folks, they said, look, the young ones are not coming.
Yeah.
And now in Parramatta, on Phillip Street.
This is Australia, Sydney.
Parramatta.
Yeah, the Para itself.
The church on Phillip Street.
Yeah.
As of they have turned it into a restaurant.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church.
It's possible.
Most of the churches now, beautiful cathedrals and all that, is empty.
Yeah.
We are coming because we know the source of God.
That's right.
We know the true God.
We are more connected
to spirituality.
That's the fact.
If you have anything that they believe is negative, which I don't believe our ancestors worshippers is negative, but let's assume that they said that's like Kolo.
Yeah.
We already have a God we worship. You understand? So introducing another deity to us is easier for us to be connected because we know the supernatural power. I know the powers that it follows me. I know where I came from. I know the rivers and the streams and all the gods that are in my village.
Yeah.
And I know the deity that I subscribe to. And I know the Lord Jesus Christ, the savior of my life. You understand? So for me to preach the gospel is already in me.
That's a fact.
It's a fact. So Africa is going to be the heartbeat of the Catholic Church. So and if they have an African Pope, even it will increase the growth.
Yeah. So let's look at it this way. I just read a proof, a research done and confirmed just in 2023. And I'm telling you, it's even getting worse now, right? And so if it is proven that the background of Appiah Turkson is increasing in numbers and actually taking the Catholic Church to a higher level, and then the background of the Westerners is decreasing in contribution by way of numbers in the church, then who should we give the Pope to? The person whose background is increasing the numbers of the church.
That's right.
Vis-a-vis the person whose background is decreasing, it means there's more work for those who are decreasing. So we need to support or give it to the person who has got
an African Catholic Church.
And then the Catholic Church Universal will go down.
We'll break.
Then
we are very good at breaking.
No, the issue is if they don't give it to the African man, and the African Catholic decides to say we want Appiah Turkson as our Pope, so we are no more attached to the Roman movement, to the Universal Pope, Catholic Church. Then it means with your low percentage and continuous decline in numbers, the Catholic Church Universal will collapse.
Exactly. And what is going to happen is that in production of business, where your market share is growing is where you're focused on.
That's why you build a headquarters.
You build a headquarters. You go there and then support the sales team and the back office team and make sure that the production is going very well. Coming back to Kofi Annan.
Because Peter Appiah Turkson mentioned Kofi Annan.
So when he was serving the UN for 30 years, he wrote it to his mom that I will not live here until I become the Secretary General. And 30 years later, it came to pass.
Yeah.
Obama, I was going into America. So America has changed now.
Yeah.
For a first African American to become
the president.
Barack Obama.
Yeah. Barack Hussein.
No, Barack. Yeah. Is it BARACK? CK.
Yeah.
Black African responsible for Americans' character in the world.
So he was destined to be.
Barack. Anyway, so Peter, what's his name? Peter
Appiah Turkson.
No, Kojo. There's a middle name.
Yeah, I think he is.
Kojo.
He's a Kojo.
Yeah, Peter. Bring the full name.
He's a Kojo. Yeah, Kojo. Yeah.
He was born on Monday.
Yeah.
Pope Francis died on Monday.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should give it to this guy. He qualified.
That's him.
Yeah.
That's him.
Cardinal
Peter Kojo
Appiah
Turkson. Yeah.
Appiah is different. It's
without the H. Yeah.
All right. He's Infante man.
Oh yeah.
I'm proud of Infante.
And it's I will not be shocked if they pronounce it Appiah.
Yeah.
Like in a different dialect.
Oh, beautiful.
But look,
he's landed.
Also, I think that the conclusion has been confirmed by our research, which has proven that the growth of the Catholic Church is now in Africa. So you did not just say it by saying for the purpose of saying.
I've seen it. I've been there. I've been to Rome,
and the records are here. And that you went there some years back. In 2023, this research has been published.
I went there,
and a few years back, there are so many churches that have been turned into pubs in UK and other countries.
Yeah.
And those churches are fashioned in a way of the temples like that of the Methodists, the Catholics, and the Presbyterian, the way they build their churches.
That's right.
The contemporary churches are built differently.
Yes.
So you can see that you know that this is not one of those old churches.
Yes.
And their churches are being converted into these
into pubs and nightclubs.
Even
and all that.
the research confirms that the few people that are even there are the old ones, not the young ones.
Yes.
And so if this is it, and the young ones plus the old ones in Africa are vibrantly in the Catholic Church, then it means Peter Appiah Turkson has done a great job.
Yes.
Getting all his lineage, his generation, his race to be Catholics and to push the agenda of the Catholic Church forward. And so for somebody who has been this successful, I don't know why he doesn't deserve to be given the biggest wage. Let's say they are even working on commission basis. Yeah. One person, one crown.
Yes.
So it means he's the king.
The odds are for him. He tried with Pope Francis' time.
Yeah.
And before Pope Francis, the one that resigned.
And do you know by his background documents that I've read here, he has actually, led or overseen some churches in Rome before.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
And so why can't he?
And he said it like every cardinal is being given a church in Rome to give you access to the land that they come.
And if you listen to what he said very well too, he said something that Rome is just like another parish.
Yes.
It's just like another branch of the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So every minister of the Catholic Church can be the Reverend Minister overseeing that Rome. So why can't he? And he has also headed another church
position
in Rome,
and he was part of the new movement, the like charity wing to be able to foster that in the church.
Yeah.
But look, in a nutshell, I think this is the time for Africa. You know the song Zamela Mela
Waka
Waka Zamela Mela Waka Lewa. This is Africa. Yeah, it's time for Africa. I'm not saying that
even if
he's the only one. He's the only one. Maybe there could be other African
cardinals that
I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one called Sarah.
Yeah, there are a few of
from
them.
Congo. Yeah. You know, there's a few of them, but we know from Ghana, from the research that I've done, all the Catholics that I know from Ghana that have gone to Catholic school. I didn't go to Catholic school.
Yeah, I did.
But I'm advocate for the Catholics because they have done an amazing, extraordinary work in Africa, even in Australia as well. Yeah. My kids goes to Catholic school.
Yeah.
I love the work they do in terms of education, hospitals, and just the social engineering of helping and mobilizing people that don't have it. You know, most of our prime ministers have been to Catholic schools.
Yeah,
and they have done extraordinary work. I know our dear Prime Minister Tony Albert was an amazing and exceptional prime minister. Yeah. And then also the great John Howard.
Okay.
Our Papa, you know, he from Catholic background, you know. So a lot of people have come through the Catholic schools and become great leaders, you know. Yes, they have their shortcomings as well.
Definitely.
In everything in society, there are goods and bads and ugly. We can't find it perfect. But having said that, when you look at what the Catholic Church have done in a nutshell, they have done an amazing work.
That's true.
You know, supporting human rights and Pope Francis fighting for human rights. Yeah. You know, amazing man that came from a humble beginning in South America to be head the church. Then there could be another great man from the land of Africa, especially the heart of Africa, which is Ghana. Yeah. And I think every African will agree with me that if it's not from Ghana, then there's not freedom and independence. Because the first independence came from Ghana. So every African will be chanting for the first pope to come from Ghana. And the rest will follow. Nigeria will come. And then Sierra Leone will come and South Africa will come. But let's focus on Ghana.
And Pastor J, you know one reason why I also want to push for an African to be the pope, especially Peter Appiah Turkson. This is the reason. Most of the popes from the Western side, the Catholic Church is a universal church, which goes to every nation, every corner.
That's right.
Most of them have never done any social service in person in any continent before, apart from in their continent of birth.
Oh, yes.
Now let's look at Peter Appiah Turkson sharing food in Kyiv.
Kyiv.
They call it Kyiv or Kyiv, sharing food there. And then look at this. Look at this man. Look at such a man. Just look at him. That's him.
Yeah, that's him. Yeah.
Sharing food. Serving the food himself.
Wow.
Right. And so if you can see such a pope and you think this pope does not deserve, this man doesn't deserve to be a pope.
I was talking to one of my daughters from church who actually went to a school, a Catholic school, because I called her.
Yeah.
And I said, do you know about this man? He said, oh, when I was young, he was teaching us.
Oh, yeah.
She's now 30-something.
And look at this. So he has been serving humanity in Africa. Humanity. In Kyiv is in Ukraine.
Okay.
He's been there.
He's been in every African country.
He's been to Rome.
Yes.
It's not his place.
Yeah. He's been there.
He's been to Rome.
I think he speaks Italian.
To study and serve. He has served in Africa, Ghana. Yeah. He has served in every part of the world. So if we are looking for a universal person that can represent a universal church, like a Catholic church, I think it is best.
But I was surprised that they have to vote. That's another topic for another day.
So like, what did you expect?
I thought God, by his infinite wisdom,
would drop somebody.
Would say, Samuel, Turkson, you know, that.
You are appointed.
You are appointed. But I didn't know. Or maybe in the book of Acts, they prayed.
Yes.
And then once they prayed.
I think that one was only done by the Church of Pentecost in the past. Okay. That is also.
But I didn't know. I didn't even know that I could become a saint.
But even
the Catholic Church,
the Pentecost church that used to pray, I said used to.
Yeah,
it's in the past. Now they are also voting.
Okay, so it's become canon.
It's become very canon.
It become political.
But you see, with the Catholic Church, I have a feeling.
Yeah,
I have a feeling. I don't know, but I have a feeling they will have some things done in the background that they would never make it public. Some spiritual activities
that they will pray and kind of
they would be doing some rituals or something
to let the person.
So the election will somehow be fair.
Yeah. Okay. I just want fairness.
That's what I'm assuming.
I just want fairness. I don't want them to come and tell us,
But it's good to know, and maybe we can find a Catholic person and ask the person why they are not selecting the popes based on
if it's a universal.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see from the natural side of it. Yeah. Please. Rome has been the headquarters. The Vatican, the place is got by invitation. Yeah. And if you look at 100 years, all the popes have come from Rome. Yeah. Except this new one,
the blacks that we've mentioned.
That wasn't our time. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 181. Who was alive that time? But then in our time, we saw Pope Francis. We were all excited because he was not from Europe. Yeah. It was not from the original popes that we knew. Yes. You understand? Okay. So now, let's look at Asia. Yeah? Let's look at Africa. Yeah. So now it's Asia and Africa. Yeah. Because we have South America. Yeah? Pope from there. Yeah. We have Europe, always pope from there. Yeah? And then we have Asia and Africa. Yeah. So now the ball is in their court. If the person original comes from Asia, I'm okay. If not, then we will come back. If not, then we'll come back. Because if it's from Asia, then it makes sense because Asia hasn't also have a pope. Yeah. Yeah. Then Africa, if it's by universal fairness, and we are all spiritual and all children of God, then everybody needs to be fair and treated fairly. Yeah. That's all my point is.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I think Pastor AJ has expressed himself. And I believe if you are watching and you can vote, please push your vote towards the person that has brought development and increase in the Catholic Church in Africa and everywhere else. Pastor AJ, your last words.
We thank God. So I was going to list the 6 continents, but Australia is Australasia. So it's part. Yeah. So we got North America, South America. So that they have gotten one. Yeah. So we got Asia and Africa and Europe. So Australians will be part of the Pope come from Australia. I don't have a problem with it. Yeah, it will be even good for us.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because look, it's great, and I want to thank God for the life of all the bishops and the priests and the cardinals, that especially our dear Cardinal Peter Kojo Appiah Turkson. Yeah, we thank you so much for your hard work, and sir, we look up to you to become better. That's because everything we read online and the testimony that we hear about your life makes us sit up straight and do what is right for humanity. We thank you and we bless God for your life. I pray that by divine power of the Holy Spirit, if it is your time, then it is your time, because the Bible says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, it says in his time he makes all things beautiful. And sir, this is your time, and God will make all things beautiful. We love you. God bless you. And if you become the Pope, I'll visit the Vatican.
That's right. That is a great thing. And you have just heard from Pastor AJ concluding on what he would wish happen, which is that Cardinal Peter Appiah Turkson becomes the Pope for the Catholic Church. We all agree. And I believe you also do agree. But don't always forget, never forget to share this program to many. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. Don't forget to send it to many people as much as you can. Because if you do that, you'll be supporting a worthy cause. Remember that Turkson Engineering Limited is in Ghana, and they are doing great when it comes to building, when it comes to supporting people in many ways to build their houses, and then to make sure that everybody is getting whatever they deserve when it comes to investing money in the properties in Africa that you want to build. If you support them, they will support you. If you patronize them, you will never be disappointed. Thank you so much for being with us, and see you in our next one as we conclude with this as you need.
Lake. And Dr. Lake. Hey, Minia, Metal Catcher. As someone bet to me. I didn't have to walk. Let me walk on to the Matina walk. I'm a year to my barber twice. I'm on this Cassie and Passas. I am a name, my baby, dear Timmy. I am a fracata. Yet, Timmy. Oh, Dr. Lake. I won't hear so do us some cocoa today. Now, so no, medium of footwork I come, the man said, Baby, I would do you know, and I would do Tibet to answer now to us some alcohol. No, madam, Dr. Lake.